The 60s were a time of fun, adventure, and unforgettable memories. From bouncing on pogo sticks to the magic of Fizzies, and saving up green and blue chip stamps to trade for something special, it was a decade that shaped a generation. Today, I'm taking you through 18 things that made the 60s unforgettable. Let's see how many you remember. Pogo sticks were everywhere in the 60s.
It's the Hop Rod, the world's first powerized pogo stick. That's right, a newly designed gasoline...
Kids would spend hours trying to stay upright, bouncing up and down the sidewalk, wobbling until they either found their rhythm or tumbled off with a laugh. It wasn't as easy as it looked. With nothing but a metal frame, a spring, and some footrests, it took real skill to keep going. The clicking sound of the spring, the feeling of weightlessness for just a second, it was pure magic. And if you could bounce all the way down the driveway without stopping, that was something to brag about. A scraped knee here and there was just part of the experience. No one worried too much about that back then. In the 60s, ant farms were a popular way for kids to get up close and personal with nature. It wasn't just a simple pastime. It was a tiny world to explore. You'd watch as ants built tunnels, carried food, and worked together like a little army. The excitement wasn't just in watching them. It was in creating the perfect setup for them to thrive in. You'd poke the glass, trying to get them to move or wonder how they knew where to go. It was one of those simple, fascinating ways to learn about life, teamwork, and even patience. And honestly, it was pretty cool to say you had your own little ant colony living right in your room. Fizzies were the 60s version of instant fun.
Take a glass of water, watch the magic begin. The second you drop a Fizzies tablet in.
These little tablets could turn a glass of water into a bubbly fizzy treat in just seconds. You'd drop one into a glass, watch it bubble and fizz, and then enjoy a sweet, carbonated drink without ever opening a soda can. It wasn't just the taste, it was the whole process that made it so exciting. And with so many flavors to choose from, Fizzies became a favorite way to cool off in the summer, or make any occasion feel a little more special. For a lot of kids, it felt like making your own soda, right in your kitchen. Getting a private phone line was a big deal. Before that, many families shared a line with their neighbors, which meant you might pick up the phone and overhear someone's conversation, whether you wanted to or not. And let's be honest, we had a little fun with that. Did you ever do that? Let us know in the comments. But once you finally got your own line, it was a game changer. No more waiting for someone to finish their call or worrying about being interrupted. The phone became your private space, perfect for chatting with friends.
Anyway, look here. Look.
Oh, S&H green stamp.
Now you can...
In those days, shopping came with a bonus: stamps. Green and blue chip stamps were given when you spent a certain amount at the store. We'd collect them in booklets, and once we had enough, we could trade them for all sorts of items, from kitchen gadgets to toys. It felt like a little treasure hunt. Each trip to the store brought us closer to something new, and we loved flipping through the catalogs to pick out what we'd get. For many families, those stamps were a fun little bonus every time we shopped. Back then, opening a can of soda meant using a metal can opener. These openers had a sharp pointed end on one side and a flattened edge on the other, about 4 to 5 inches long. They were often given away by soda and beer companies, with their logo etched into the metal. Back then, it wasn't as easy as just pulling a tab. You had to twist the opener into the can and pry it open. It might have taken a bit of effort, but that first sip tasted all the sweeter after the work. In the 60s, smoking was as common as sipping coffee. You could light up just about anywhere, on airplanes, in restaurants, and even in hospitals. It wasn't just about the cigarettes, it was part of the culture. Ads featuring glamorous actors and catchy slogans filled magazines, and cigarette brands became almost a part of someone's identity. Smoking was so widespread that even pregnant women were often seen lighting up, despite the health risks we know today. It wasn't just a habit, it was a social ritual. Whether you were relaxing with friends or taking a break at work, smoking was everywhere, and for many, it felt like it always would be. The television was the centerpiece of every living room, and in the 60s, it wasn't just any TV, it was a console television. These bulky wooden-framed sets, often took up an entire wall and were designed to be a stylish piece of furniture as much as a piece of technology. The sound came from large built-in speakers, and you had to adjust the rabbit ears for the best picture. There was no remote control, so you were the remote, getting up to change the channel or fiddle with the volume. But even with the extra effort, it was a magical time for TV watching, when the whole family gathered around to see the latest episode of their favorite show. Nothing captured the essence of a night out like a trip to the drive-in theater. You'd pull up to a giant outdoor screen, park your car, and tune into the movie on your radio. It wasn't just about the film, it was the whole experience. Families would fill up the car with blankets and snacks, while groups of friends or couples enjoyed the chance to relax in the back seat. And if you were lucky, you'd get a double feature, stretching out the fun under the stars. The drive-in wasn't just a movie, it was an event, a place where the magic of cinema came to life in the open air. Soda fountains were the go-to spots for a cool drink and a good time. These retro counters were always buzzing with energy, offering everything from ice-cold sodas to indulgent milkshakes. People would gather with friends, chatting and enjoying a refreshing treat on a hot afternoon. The soda jerk behind the counter would mix up your favorite drinks with skill and speed, and there was something special about the atmosphere. The clink of glasses, the hum of conversation, and the classic tunes on the jukebox. It was a place where the simple joys of life were shared, and every visit felt like a little celebration.
World Book Encyclopedia. Food for thought. In 20 volumes. Welcome your local World Book representative.
In those days, the World Book Encyclopedia was our go-to source for discovering the world. As kids, we loved flipping through the colorful pages, whether we were doing a school report or just looking up something that sparked our curiosity. Those books were full of fascinating facts about everything from outer space to ancient history. We'd gather around, eagerly searching for answers or sharing a cool tidbit we found. For many families, owning a full set of encyclopedias was a big deal, kind of like having the entire world at your fingertips. It was our window to knowledge before Google, and we couldn't get enough of it. Paper maps were an essential travel companion. Before GPS, if you wanted to go somewhere, you had to rely on these trusty maps to guide you. Whether it was a weekend road trip or a cross-country adventure, unfolding a map and planning your route was part of the fun. We'd spread them out on the hood of the car or the kitchen table, tracing our journey with our fingers and marking off towns along the way. No zooming in or rerouting, just a big, detailed map that showed the world one road at a time. I still have a few tucked away in my glove compartment, and with those, I never have to worry about losing signal or being without internet. Banana seat bikes were the ride of choice for kids. With their long, curvy seats and colorful designs, these bikes made you feel like you were cruising in style. Whether you were showing off your new ride or gathering with friends for a race around the neighborhood, those bikes were a big part of childhood. I still remember my first one, a bright yellow bike with that classic banana seat. It was built for comfort, with that distinctive seat that made it stand out, and the cool, often vibrant colors made them a true symbol of the 60s.
Our national anthem.
Back in the 60s, the national anthem played when TV stations signed off for the night. After hours of programming, the screen would fade to black and the anthem would fill the room. It was a solemn moment that marked the end of the day. Everyone would stop what they were doing, perhaps for a moment of reflection, as the stars and stripes appeared on the screen. For many, it was a comforting, familiar routine before static took over the airwaves until morning. Photographic slides and slide projectors were the ultimate way to relive and share special moments. After a vacation or family gathering, the living room would fill with excitement as the projector clicked through slide after slide, bringing your memories to life on the wall. It wasn't just about looking at photos, it was about gathering together, dimming the lights, and reminiscing. Sure, you had to endure the occasional long slideshow, but there was something magical about seeing those moments unfold in front of you, one slide at a time. The moon landing in 1969 was one of those moments you'll never forget.
Hippity hoppity, hippity hoppity, hippity hopping over hill and dale.
Neil Armstrong stepping onto the lunar surface, and all of us thinking, wow, we're really doing this. It was like the impossible had just become real. Watching it happen, even if you didn't fully understand all the details, you knew something big was happening. That one small step for man felt like a giant leap for everyone. It wasn't just about the moon, it was about feeling like anything was possible. If you were a kid in the 60s, zebra-striped gum was a must-have. With its bright, colorful, zebra-striped wrapper, it stood out from all the other gum out there. The flavor didn't last long, but that didn't stop us. We'd chew a piece, blow a bubble, and enjoy every bit of it while it lasted. It wasn't about the taste sticking around. It was all about the fun, sharing a piece with your friends, and that bold, eye-catching wrapper that made it unique. If you remember the 60s, A&W Drive-Up Restaurants were something truly unique. You'd park, and within moments, a server would skate up to your car, bringing your meal on a tray, usually a root beer float or a burger. The roller skates made it all feel like part of the fun. It wasn't just about grabbing a bite. It was about the whole experience, from watching those servers zoom around to enjoying the food with friends or family. Did you experience these things in the 60s? Maybe you still have an old set of encyclopedias or a paper map tucked away somewhere. I'd love to hear your memories in the comments. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.